Welcome to the Igniting the CEO Within podcast, where we interview successful high-level professionals to discover lessons they've learned throughout their career that can help ignite that CEO within you. I'm Mark McFatridge, and I'll be your host for the next 15 minutes or so. Our show is sponsored by Quaid, a nationwide community of CEOs and entrepreneurs. Quaid has developed Launchpad, which offers an opportunity for experienced executive coaches and strategic advisors to become licensed circle directors and earn significant recurring revenues. After completing the Launchpad program, you'll lead your own peer advisory circles, helping other CEOs and entrepreneurs excel in their professional and personal lives while providing a community of support, accountability, and challenge. If you'd like to learn more, go to quaidcircle.com. On our show today, I think this is going to be a good one. Just in our brief interactions, I've got Michael Hawn. He's the founder and caffeinated executive officer of several companies, including My Healthy Freedom, iMarket Sleep, and unmaskedleads.io from Kansas City, Missouri. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate the time.
Hey, I'm excited. You've done a bunch of stuff in your career, and I can't wait to unpack that. But I know that in your coaching and in the work that you do, you've seen all kinds of leaders, and I would love to get your insights on what you think is a trait or two that separates those leaders that are excellent and those that might not be so excellent.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Appreciate the opportunity to just speak on that. I'm going to start with my wife. She actually, she's an amazing woman. She went to school to be a mathematician. She was courted by NASA. She meets me. I win her heart over, and I try to marry her before she finishes college, but I'm glad she just said no. But she wrote a paper that literally got published in Parade magazine, and it is, do we expect more of our leaders than we expect of ourselves?
Ooh.
And that premise really has rocked me for the last 30 plus years that I've been married. And so she's a leader that really is heart connected, obviously, because she's a wholehearted woman,
Mhm.
but she also, she really is a deep thinker. And so when I measure a leader, are they obviously walking the talk, and are they, talking what they're walking?
Mhm.
But I look at a heart connection with, their outward, there's alignment. We're hearing a lot about that nowadays. People walking in alignment. But for her, she's been the consummate reminder for me what I'm called to as a leader, but she exhibits it. And we've got, wonderful children that are entrepreneurs that are functional. I give her, 95% of the credit. I was available, I provided, but she was the one that really gave them a character formation that we really had a vision to help them be leaders for when they were going to be an adult, that they would know who they are, know
Mhm.
their value in the world, and then be able to produce. And then what is it that is your passion? How can we help you to monetize that? And so we got connected with Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad at a young age. And because she was a teacher, there was an old MS-DOS version of that. And so instead of, iPads and iPhones and all that stuff, we got our kids involved in micro business. And so that's kind of the leadership she provided helped give me the freedom to be able to do some incubation with my kids at a young age. And so anyway, that's one thing. So she's definitely got that in spades.
Let's go.
I,
Can I unpack that?
yeah,
One thing that one of the things that sounds so simple is walking the talk, right? It's not always that simple, right? Or it seems like there are so many things that start to pull you as a leader as you're starting to establish that can knock you off balance and not walk the walk. How do you see people? Maybe they get knocked off of that path just a little bit, but then recover. And what brings them back to being able to walk that talk?
yeah, great question. I'm going to go back to my own journey. COVID, even pre-COVID, I got a first VP seat for a tech company startup. There was a bunch of my friends. It was a social type app. that was supposed to compete with, Group Me and WhatsApp. Good
Mhm.
luck with that competition. Um, it was definitely a wild ride, but in that process, I started getting deconstructed. That's a big word right now,
Uh-huh.
as a man and as a leader, and it was almost parabolic because the reflections that I had with my own senior leadership and how I was being treated, I would bring that back home.
Mm.
And my wife was like, "Wow, thank God you're getting the message." And I'm thinking, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Yeah, this is how we feel under your leadership." And I was so shocked
Huh.
that there was such a transactional, I grown into out of heart centered, relational centered, but into transactional reality of how I saw my kids. And they were a means to an end instead of people with unique giftings, callings, opinions, and that were way different than mine because they
Mhm.
had different personas, different motivational bends. So it took me on a 5-year journey where, to answer your question, I found for me and the study that I've done in the last 5 years of just neurochemistry, a lot of Kurt Thompson's work with the anatomy of the
Mhm.
soul, of interpersonal biology and neurochemistry. It's the people that we surround ourselves with. How we grow is reflective neurons. So people seeing me for who I am and reminding me when I'm singing off key to my own song, hey, you're not living from the heart that we see you carrying. We need you to get back on track. How can we help you? And that kind of healthy shame is a big topic right now, but Thompson did another book called The Soul of Shame, and it really talks about how we can have healthy shame that really leads to transformation and formation that's very, very positive, that is connected relationally, or that toxic that is more like alienating, and it just kind of removes us from that connection of who we really are. And for some people, that's faith. A lot of people, that's a lot of different things. For
Mhm.
me personally, it's a faith connection. Um, but I also see that in the people that I surround myself with. I've got some amazing professionals that I walk with. I literally have 4 coaches. I get to meet with them. And then there's the peer coaches that show
Yeah.
up that I surround myself with once a month, and they get to see me and they get to challenge me. Um, and for example, one of my coach friends said, "Mike, you're like a fusion reactor. You need guardrails, buddy. You got so many ideas and you do so much stuff. You got
Mhm.
this power of energy, but you got to have guardrails." And I'd already asked several of them, "Hey, would you be like on my board of advisors, just personally?"
Mhm.
Professionally, absolutely. But I just want to make sure that I'm sticking the landing on what I'm supposed to be doing well as a father and as a husband, which, last 5 years been really uh, just a hard truth that I missed the mark quite a bit. And there's a lot to walk out, the time that I have left here. And I'm just looking forward to just being a connected leader, Mark. That's really what
Yeah.
I think. And then not having unhealthy shame, but hey, push delete and let's move on. Every
Yeah.
day is a brand new opportunity.
So, I love all that. Really, that's cool. Obviously, with Quaid, I believe in the power of your peer network and how powerful that can be.
Yeah.
You've talked about your wife on multiple occasions already in the first 8.5 minutes that we've been on, which is awesome. Talk about the importance of having a spouse that is not only supportive, but is able to do what you said, pull you aside and go, dude, you're off key, your
Yeah.
words, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Because there are studies that show that successful people that have spouses, great spouse partners, go further than anybody else. And I've never tapped into that on this show. So I'm happy you brought it up and would love to dig a little bit more into that.
Yeah. I think that anybody that finds a wife that or husband that can really see them for who they are and value them. Um, and unfortunately, my wife, she got a glimpse of who I really was early, before any of the stuff that I was able to do in business, et cetera. And she was always the one that keep your focus, Mike. keep your focus. The joke was I had bought a Ford Focus when we first started our family, and it was brand new. Drove it off the showroom floor, and I didn't want that Ford Focus. I really wanted something nicer. But the joke was keep your focus. As a distracted guy on the spectrum, it became even more obvious to me how much I needed her to help me to just believe the best about me.
Mhm.
A business is an incubator for character development for a lot of us men. Women, they get that through myriads of different ways, but for her, she was able. I remember a couple of the breakthroughs that I had gotten. Um, one of them was bringing a 50,000 member organization to this platform that we were building, and it was pre-revenue, and there was no revenue happening, and they were at I think year 4 of a big serious cash burn, and so this influx of support for the project was really meaningful, and I just remember the just a clarion call to say, hey, stay relational. And so I was always fighting for the relationship
Mhm.
where the pressure on the business side, the pressure on revenue is a lot of times transactional. She always reminds me to keep the relationship bigger than the problem,
Mhm.
be a gentle protector, be a gentle instructor and a gentle leader. Because if I can do that well, when it's time to use my not so gentle side, it's a well received because I have a foundation of gentleness. So, um, yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it does, similarly, my wife and I got married in 1991, whatever. I don't know how I can't do math, but it's been a long time, and so the beauty of that is, she's seen me at my best and at my worst, and
Yeah,
she knows me literally better than anybody, and she's there, and she'll humble me when I need that, and which is often, and
yeah,
she'll pump me up when I need that, and
yeah,
that's just it's just a really cool thing to have that I think we probably don't undervalue it, but I know we don't talk about it enough.
yeah. There's one thing that I've learned, especially in the last 5 years, and that is just developmentally. There's a model called life model. Jim Wilder, as a PhD, he coined the term neurotheology. And so it's literally the study of how we grow as people. And he talks about the norms of what a 0 to 3 year old should be functioning as, both from a community perspective, a familiar perspective, but then also just an agency perspective, that they should have certain things. And in our culture, and I'm 55, so I know the 70s, and it was such a transitional generation, the Gen X generation, and
Mhm.
even pre and post, especially post. But he talks about, the inability to receive, speaks of infant gaps in our maturity spectrum. And it's amazing how work will bring out the inability to receive. And so a child is supposed to understand that their normal state is joy. So if they've got healthy attachment, they literally understand the world as, hey, I can do anything. And they get a sense of their history, they get a sense of their present, and they get confidence to move forward. We're seeing a lot of times with my wife, difficulty for me to receive those real hard things that she has to say. Show me this is opportunity for me to grow. And CEO leaders, we don't really want to talk about our weaknesses, but I think one of the hallmarks of a great leader is to be able to lead with weakness, and then
Mhm.
how we're walking out of that weakness. I understand I have this weakness, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sabotage my sabotage. I'm going to get in front of these things. I'm going to put some guardrails in place, whether they're relational, procedural, technological. I'm going to put these in place so that I can actually function well. And then I'm going to hire for some of my weakness. One of the leaders that I worked with is Chuck Steinmetz out of Orlando, multi serial entrepreneur, and he said you need brains and you need courage, and you can always hire the brains. And so I love the fact that he did that. And I had a opportunity to work not directly, but with the mentee of John Scully. And so working with him, seeing his amazing ability to inspire people to come alongside of his vision and lead projects and stuff. But I don't want to get too detailed, but areas of concern. But I did speak this to him directly, so I could probably say it on air. That the fixer mentality, and how that can bleed into our personal lives. You develop the skill set of being the fixer guy, but yet at home that doesn't work.
Hmm.
You want to be the present guy. You want to be the I'm with you guy, and how can I attune with you guy, not I'm going to fix this. And that's kind of what I learned for myself. I was like, wow, I'm like the fixer guy.
Hmm.
My kids don't need a fixer. They need me to be present. They
Hmm.
need me to be attuned. They need to know that they see me. So there's been phrases of, hey, dad, no phones on the field. If you're the coach, get that phone off the field. I want to see your eyeballs. And my 16-year-old right now is doing a study on digital screens and the development of the brain. He's
Wow.
like, Dad, you really need to check out that book. And I'm like, we'll check it out together. I need some tutoring in that department.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what I would answer to kind of go back to your original question.
Yeah, no, that's really good, and the fixer mentality honestly needs to. If you're going to be the CEO of a company, you can't be a fixer mentality either, right? And
No.
that's a lesson that translates both from home to the office. Of
Yeah,
if you want your company to be successful as a CEO, you can't have your hands in everything. You have to trust and educate and empower people to do the stuff, right? The
that's right.
fixing in and of themselves. You can help clear the pathway so that they can be successful, but
Right.
you can't be the fixer.
Yeah. What do you need to accomplish that goal? How can I equip you?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Man, this has been great. All right, I have one last question for you before we wrap it up.
All right.
If you take a look back at 21-year-old Michael, what is one thing that you wish he knew then that you know now?
Oh man, you going for the heart, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Oh,
I knew I could do this with you.
yeah. I would tell him, "Mm, it's going to be worth it. Just pay the price. Pay the price right now. Don't look back. Pay the price to learn how to love well, learn how to receive, um, do the hard work of just being present. Um, learn how to surround yourself with people that see you, know you, are glad to be with you, and will tell you the truth. And then don't let them go. That 21-year-old would have really, really valued that perspective. And then don't ever give up. Look at failure as education. You're
Mhm.
going to take the test again. So just get encouraged and excited about the fact that the next one is going to be around the corner. You don't know when it's coming, but you got this because you didn't take this as failure. You took this as education. And every choice is an investment. Where are you investing? I would look back and I would see that differently, as now I'm looking at my life and I'm saying, wow, I've invested in things that just weren't worthy. And I limited my investment on that which was the most worthy. And I'd love to be able to help somebody else learn from that.
Yep. That's amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate you sharing your experiences and insights and wisdom. Do me a favor. What Share with our audience, what would a typical engagement with you? How can they get a hold of you? How can we connect you with some people that you can play a role in with?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Um, they can get a hold of me through sales at unmaskleads.io. And they can just reach out to me there. They can DM me on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to connect with them. I actually love the heart connected executive. Love to be able to help nurture heart connected executives with some of the technology that we've been able to produce with de-anonymizing, helping founders get their data and know who they are actually get out of the black box of agency and get more into asset ownership and owning their audience. That's stuff that's really fun, especially for heart-led founders. So yeah, they can DM me and happy to jump on a call with them and see if there's a good fit.
Love it. All right. Michael, thank you so much for hanging out with me
Yeah.
today. I really appreciate you.
Yeah. You as well. Look forward to it, Mark. Thanks.
All right, y'all. We have done it again. We have found an amazing leader to share his wisdom and insights with us. Hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did recording it. Just wanted to remind you, Igniting the CEO Within is sponsored by Quade, a nationwide community of CEOs and entrepreneurs. Quade has created Launchpad, which provides an opportunity for experienced executive coaches and strategic advisors to become licensed circle directors and earn significant annual recurring revenues. To find out more, visit quadecircle.com. Until next time, keep igniting that CEO within you. I'm Mark McFatridge. Thanks for listening.